Hello, and welcome to the Libri Labra Book Club. Today I'm joined by my husband, John, aka BookTube Hubby, and Book Club VIP member, Tom Brennan. And, before we jump into the discussion, really quick, if you ever want to join us on the discussion, you can do that by becoming a patron on patreon.com/Libri Labra. And there's a few different perks, including like a custom bookmark and, priority replies and YouTube comments and some behind the scenes stuff. And I've recently this year started working on making a podcast to put on there. I have to edit the first one, but it's coming. So anyway, you can check out more of the levels by visiting patreon.com/Libri Labra. Today, unfortunately, I don't have a book on me. Let's see if I can pull up the cover.
I can assure you, you have a book.
I don't have the book.
A physical copy of the book.
I think you just, yeah, it wasn't the title. Yeah, you might as well just take a picture of it while it passes.
I'll just, hold on. I can do this.
I'll just make it harder on myself.
This is possible.
As you
see, you messed me up so much more.
Watch.
No, I got it.
Okay, all right.
Got it.
There we go.
So that's what we read this month. We read The Stranger Times by C.K. McDonnell.
Yes.
And this was a book that was nominated by Tom. Tom, do you want to tell us a little bit about why you selected it?
Well, number one, because we have the I don't know if we ever mentioned this on the actual discussion, is that we're trying to take newer books this year, like books within the last 3 months. So,
I don't think we mentioned that, but yeah, this year we've decided we're going to do all new releases.
Yeah. And this was put out in January, and it's by the author has a few other novels under his, I guess, actual name, Queeve McDonnell. Spelled Caimh. I do not speak Gaelic, and I do not know how that maps to the pronunciation, but here we are.
Okay, so that is how that gets pronounced, right?
It is Queeve,
yeah, Queeve.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, is that a comedian name? I wasn't sure if that was how. Okay.
No, it's Irish Gaelic name, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he's written, he calls it the Dublin Trilogy, but it's actually 4 books. And which are more realistic in the sense that they don't have elements of magic in it. So, yes, he uses the C.K. McDonnell, I think, just to launch the Stranger Things because it has a bit more magical realism, shall we say.
I think we did talk about that because that's when I perked up and said, hey, I read that book. What was it? The Man with One of Those Faces?
Yes, that's the first book in the trilogy. Yeah. So
I was like, I started reading that.
Yeah.
Does he mainly write like mystery?
Typically they are mysteries. They're like police procedurals, but the attitude he shows to the police in this novel carries through in the other novels as well. So
okay, so before we jump into spoilerish discussion.
One other small thing. He lives in Manchester now, but the novels under Queeve McDonnell are set in Ireland, in Dublin, I believe, and this one's set in Manchester, England. So it's a different setting. So
yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
Initial thoughts.
I liked it. But are you talking about going in? Initial thought, like what I think going into it?
No, like after reading it, what was your just initial thoughts before like deep diving into some of the things that happened? Like, okay, you liked it.
I liked it. I liked it a decent amount, and I mean, it got to a little. I was like, come on, with some of it, but it like some of the. I don't know. I like how he kind of like pushed everything. I made a mistake. Well, that's not a mistake. I'm gonna back off of that completely. I'm just gonna say
these are initial thoughts. Just
yeah.
Right. No mistakes were made.
Okay, so you liked it.
I did.
Okay, all right. And any mention of the humor? It's you.
I have no qualms with it. I think you're the one that was.
No, listen. I'm not trying to suggest that you have qualms with it. I'm saying you enjoy that type of humor. That's like.
I understand that type of humor. Enjoying it is a different level. Like I do enjoy some of it, not all of it, but again, I understand it, and it's at least that I can find it where the context is necessary.
I don't know where I saw like references to, not necessarily references, but like, I don't know if it was in the subtitle of the book or where, but it mentioned Terry Pratchett, and I could see.
I was going to mention that. Yes, that was not there when I originally picked the book up, so somebody put it there later. And while Sir Terry does have humor in his books, Sir Terry also has like a huge number of puns and references and wordplay that is not present in this novel. But go ahead,
Can
John.
it be safe to assume that a lot of British or Irish, or that how about European style of comedy would pull a lot from Terry Pratchett because of what he was to that in his time?
I don't know if it's taken directly from him, but it's just that sensibility.
It's a common thing, right?
Yeah, it's a common sensibility that they share. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, like a lot of it, it all looks this. I mean, they can probably say the same about American comedy. It all looks the same over here.
And that's true. There are any number of YouTube videos, and it's especially interesting to hear the English and British and such comedians talk about it, with differences between American and British comedy. So it's like it's kind of like sushi to me. It's either you like it or you don't. So wherever you fall on that spectrum will dictate how much you enjoyed the book, I think.
I also think there's a spectrum on how Pratchett-y something can
Pratchett-y.
get. Like I was wondering if I could actually make a little icon, a Pratchett ratchet.
And you're certainly more than welcome to. I mean, I read a few books of Pratchett, and yes, it does have humor, does have fantasy, but it's not, to me, it's not the same thing. To you, it is though.
No, I can see.
Again,
and we're still in the initial thoughts, by the way.
Yes,
all right, it's too late.
So I found it hugely enjoyable, but then again, I'm really into British comedy and that sort of thing. Plus, the narrator was freaking amazing in the audio.
I agree on that wholeheartedly.
It's like I don't really almost need the ebook anymore. I can just listen to it, and it's like the diversity of voices and accents and such. Yeah.
Is the narrator related to the author or no? He's just...
It's Brendan. I think it's the author. The narrator is Brendan McDonald, not McDonnell.
Oh, okay.
So.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on how far back the tree you want to look. I'm sure everybody's related somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
So I enjoyed it. It's not necessarily my type of humor, and I think there's parts of it that I dislike more than others. I think there's like humor that's solely based on shock value or saying like really, really random things is not what I really enjoy. And sometimes there's a lot of that, just kind of like these descriptions of like things that really have nothing to do with each other, and it's just so out there.
I'm sorry, but that's the beauty of that type of comedy, and that's what I mean by Pratchett-y and on a spectrum, because really, it really depends on how obscure the second reference is. Because I think with Pratchett, they're witty and there's another meaning to it. With most people, it's just straight shock value.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That's where the difference lies.
Yes, and that's what I said. If you read a Pratchett novel, and this is not this McDonnell, they're just different things in the sense that Pratchett, you could read like 3 or 4 times, and that's actually a pun on this, and then you realize it. But that's not the case here, I don't think, with McDonnell's work. Nor is he going for that, and that's totally fine. But that's why I was just like, wait. It's like Terry Pratchett. Yes, kind of. Yes, it has dark fantasy.
There's a line.
There's humor,
and they didn't get cross.
And I can see the marketing team say, "Yeah, he's totally like Pratchett." It's like, well,
but he's not.
Yeah,
he's not. Yes.
Yeah, it didn't feel so much like dark fantasy as just like having supernatural elements to it, I guess. And I really like that aspect of it. And I read towards the end that this is a series, so I would definitely.
Apparently, it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely pick up.
Considering the epilogue, but here we are.
Did you also see that there's a podcast?
Yes, I haven't listened to it yet. I did check out the website though.
Yeah, I checked out like the first 3-minute episode just to find out what it was all about. It sounds interesting, so I might check out more of that too. And I don't know if you read the acknowledgments.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Which are actually part of the audiobook, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that never happens. So I thought that was really cool too. But I don't know.
And a different voice, no less, than any other voice in the book, which is great.
No, I think every time he actually did the paper, like when he read an article or something from the paper, that was the voice he used for the obituary afterwards.
All right.
So it was like, he read it like a here, listen here. I mean, he read it like someone was reading in the paper out loud. So it was kind of nice. And the narrator was perfect. Like, I want to go spend some time in England and Ireland to pick up some of those characters. Those are some characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point we could probably just say we're jumping into spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler territory.
And with that being said, let's just talk a little bit about what the book was. So it was like this supernatural mystery, I guess. It's the start of a series, and it was rather humorous in its telling. I like the way it was written. If that appeals to you, definitely go read the book and come back and watch the rest of our discussion, because we are spoilers. We are spoilers now. So yeah, I thought the acknowledgments were pretty awesome, because he wrote the acknowledgments for each person as if it was their obituary. Like, who does that?
Yes.
I've never seen that ever.
The psychic, yeah.
So, and that's kind of hard, giving them all these very unique deaths. There was a lot of people in there. I was like, how many people is he thinking?
There has to be some meaning behind whoever died by cauliflower.
Maybe they just don't like cauliflower. So, Tom, you can go ahead and lead the discussion since...
Well, we're introduced to Hannah, who apparently was a rich girl wife who apparently was cheated on by her husband, and now she's trying to make her own way. She has as the wife, she used to buy store furniture, but now she's going to an interview at one of their stores because she's on her own now, and of course she doesn't get the job because they basically say, "Oh, is this? Oh, I'm sorry, they didn't print all of your CV." I said, "No, that is all of my CV." And she wanders into, if I recall correctly, the church where the Stranger Things is, and that's where the novel unfolds. So, and the Stranger Things is a newspaper that reports on what people believe, not necessarily the truth of what they believe, but just that they believe it. So it's a chronicle of the beliefs of people in society, which I thought was an interesting, distinction to make. So. And there she meets a cast of characters, and that's where, like I said, the book really comes out.
A cast of characters, indeed. And I enjoy this just because of how it can be presented in a film or TV format. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited to see if this ends up on screen somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that,
yes, and along the way, let's see, there's some supernatural stuff going on in the sense that there's a murder that's unexplained, and of course the police are involved, and that's how we get to meet D.I. Sturgis and that crew, and the reader knows that yes, there's something magical going on here, but nobody else does, and that's part of the situation that they're in. So
I actually didn't know.
Without going further, that fully spoiling the whole book, but yeah, that's the general gist of it. Basically, finding what's happening and what's going to happen with the magic stuff. So
I say going into it thinking the Stranger Times. Okay, it's going to be like the Inquirer, but I didn't realize until halfway. I was like, wait. It's going to be like that type of paper. I don't think I read the synopsis going in. So I was just like, I was going in blind.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of
And actually, I went in blind too, but I really liked Bancroft's defense of the paper because I think it was Hannah who said, "Oh, why don't we just make shit up?" And it's like,
Yeah.
no, we don't. No, that's not the point of the paper. The point is, it has to be true that people believe it, not necessarily that the beliefs are
Right.
true. So yeah.
I don't know if anybody else felt this way, but to me, Hannah felt a little not quite as colorful as all the other characters. And it seemed like her purpose was just a lens for all the other characters. If that makes sense.
That's an interesting idea. No, that makes perfect sense.
So
Well,
she's there so we can see them and we can get a feel for them. But I felt like Hannah herself, like there wasn't that much to her.
I mean, you gotta. I mean, there was apparently some sort of growth, and her falling into like realizing who these people are and how they work together is kind of like part of her story.
Right. And it's most noticeable in like the first few chapters where she's at Stranger Things, because like, she's very mousy and such the first day, and then the second day she's a little more assertive, and then like after like the third or fourth day she's like, okay, she knows she's getting to know how to control Banecroft, which is the editor of the paper, and she knows how to deal with the various people in the office. So, but past that, there's not much more,
Is Banecroft a completely new character?
No, he was the editor of the paper, the one with the blunderbuss.
Right, but is he in any other of?
Not in the ones I've read, no.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
I was fearing that he was going to be like one of the characters in his other set of novels, Bunny McGarry, if you've read the thing, but it's like he wasn't, really. So, and one of my favorite parts was with the warlock, Moretti, when they were in the bar, and Moretti tries to do the spinning coin trick with him to get him to hypnotize him, and he's like, "Oh, you're trying to do close-up magic with me," and he's like, and so it's like, well, does he know that? Does he is he attuned to the magic as well? But I was so glad that he wasn't. He didn't realize he had the totem in his pocket the whole time. It's like, oh, that's good. That apparently was Mrs. Harnforth's job, the owner of the paper, to fill us in on
right,
so to speak.
She found the twists for us.
Mm-hmm.
That felt a little info dumpy.
It was,
but how's it even do? So
I don't know. They could have found the info in a book or something, but I guess it would have been the same thing. It still would have felt slightly info dumpy. But
you have Grace, the office manager, who keeps everybody together and keeps everybody focused, and really is like the conscience of the whole paper, I think. She keeps Bancroft in line with the swearing and such. And I thought it was interesting. I was dying for them when they were in the hospital.
Even under stress.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because Bancroft swore, and she tags him on it. And I was waiting for Bancroft to say, "Oh, you only said that's only in the church, not outside the church." But you didn't. So yeah. So there's that. There's Reggie, who I guess his outward demeanor and voice is effeminate, but it turns out he's like a I don't know how to put it, like a thug apparently in a former life. It's like a street thug, is like really tough. So, and then there's who else? Ox. The computer guy. We have Stella, the 15-year-old girl that they took in, who apparently lives with Grace. And I can't remember the guy's name. The printer, Manny. Yeah,
Manny.
Yes, it runs the printer. So these descriptions do not give them justice. If you want to read the actual book, because they are really well drawn, well specified characters, I thought.
And they each have their place.
Yeah, they each have their defined personalities and that sort of a thing.
And then the audiobook narrator gave them each like a very, very distinctive
voice.
Very distinctive personality for each of them.
What was the lawyer's name again?
Dr. Carter?
Yeah.
Carter, yeah. the adversary, if you will.
She was interesting.
And the voice for her, the voice for her was really well done. And to his credit, like whenever the book said that she giggled that way, he would do it. I was like, wow. Yeah, you are seriously committed to your craft.
Ooh.
We could do without that, but I appreciate the, But yeah, it was really well done.
I mean, I can imagine it being just as irritating as hearing Umbridge laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just don't.
I hate even thinking about Umbridge. Umbridge pushes my buttons like no other.
So, but along the way we find out that Moretti has created a werewolf, or were, sorry, not a werewolf, a were. So, and I was sorely tempted to respond to your thread on YouTube about, was it Lumbosoma? You're talking about what your favorite werewolf was. It's like, oh, I'm so tempted to write it. That would be a spoiler if I did.
Yeah. What a big spoiler.
So I thought that was interesting that Moretti led the guy on to think that he was saving his daughter, but he was actually saving that rich guy's son. To get him to do all that stuff. So I thought that was a nice twist. So.
Oh, and there was Sturgis. I don't know if you mentioned him.
D.I.
Yeah, D.I. Sturgis, yeah. And he's one of the ones that are always trying to do right, and and I like the way they explain the headaches.
Yeah.
With having that thing in his head that he's being controlled by Carter.
I like how how they described it at the end. She didn't even want to say what it was. It was just like,
yeah,
like she just did the little hand gesture to talk about it, and that right. She's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So that apparently is going to come up in another novel. So yeah, you could tell like toward the end, they're building and stuff. Yeah, he's going to make this a series. I didn't know that when I started reading it, but apparently it is.
I wonder how that's going to play out. If it's just going to be like a whole new cast of characters in the world, or still focused on the Stranger Times, another mystery.
I would imagine it would have the Stranger Times people in it, and just have different
involved in somehow.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I like Sturgis's the idea of his character being like a not quite bumbling, but an Inspector Gadget type. He's always like pushing to do the right thing, but not really on top of everything, like socially, really. So.
What did you think about the kind of like inner story about the founders and apparently I can't hear the word founders without thinking of like the Vampire Diaries.
About what?
The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, I think of beer, so that's okay. But
because like so much of the story in the Vampire Diaries revolves around the founders of Mystic Falls and like secrets that they kept in relation to, the supernatural elements and stuff like that.
Well, the accord was that the founders wouldn't hunt the wee folk anymore to make more founders, and I understood, and that's what the faux pas here was that Moretti was actually doing that. He's trying to make
more founders.
And a founder is someone who has eternal life, but they apparently have to. Do I have it right that they have to keep hunting wee folk to keep that up like every 10 years or so, or am I wrong?
I think it was something like that.
So
there was something that they had to do to keep it up.
Yeah. So, and wee folk, I would think would be like fairies and that sort of a thing, who have magical powers of their own, who one of the characters in the book does, and you can read to find that out. We talk about it here.
So it's about like the other thing where they were just hunting magic folk to take their magic to keep using it, or something like that, or Was it just
I understood that when you save somebody like that, you take essentially you hunt them down, you take their life essence, and you put it into this other person, this human,
right.
and then they become a founder, and then you have to keep that up, like topping off the tank every 10 years or so.
Right. Okay.
So, but the agreement was, I guess they could still. I guess I don't know how that worked. That maybe they'll elaborate it on later in the later novel, but it just seemed odd to me that the Wee folk would agree to. Oh yeah, you can still hunt us if you're like maintaining the number of founders, you're not making more. It's like, well, I'm not sure that's. So I have to think I had misunderstood that.
Right.
So, but I like I liked how he portrayed a world which, is real, but people would not think it's real. It's like a world within a world, which I thought was really well done. I also like the attitude toward the homeless that they show, like toward the end. Like the homeless become a key part of the investigation, remember, and that the girl tells him, that Moretti was there, and that sort of a thing. And, at almost like right at the end of the book, she walks, Hannah walks past a homeless person that she walks past by all the time, I guess, going to work. And then she finally stops. She stops to look, I should introduce myself properly. And she treats him like a human being, like, I'm Hannah. Oh, I'm Paul, and then she gives him one of the donuts. And I thought that was a really good scene, So.
Yeah, we definitely don't. I'm not used to seeing homeless people being treated that way here.
Which was the point, because
right.
And he says elsewhere in the book, that people just walk past, and there's a quote there. I wish I don't know if I highlighted it or not, but about that. But I'll take a look for it. So
you go back and think about it. That was there's a lot of homeless people in downtown, and the only people I ever see interacting with them are the people that I work with. Now I think about it.
Which,
Uh-oh.
again, another world where it exists, but people are not cognizant of it. Myself included. So
that's
which I guess is the point.
Interesting comparison.
So, here's my highlights. Like I can never find these things.
Yeah.
As soon as my internet decides to load the page. But the corpse. This is one of the initial deaths in the book. The corpse, one Long John McGuire, was a homeless guy known to the Greater Manchester Police. He had a history of alcohol abuse and a long list of convictions for petty, non-violent crimes. It was a cruel irony. People who had quickened their pace to speed by and ignore him in life were now fascinated by him in death. That's what it was. So.
It's so sad.
Very sad.
So like I said, it does have darker themes in it, and it's not all just humor and such, which I appreciated in the book too. And that's what sort of gave the villain teeth. In other words, like one of the other characters who were introduced early on in the book, when Hannah first goes to the Stranger Times, is Simon. And he's the wannabe who wants to work for the Stranger Times, but Banecroft tells him no all the time. And again, from the outside, it looks like he's just rejecting him. But we come to find out that he's actually looking at his stories and waiting for him to get better himself. Yeah, right. So we can actually hire him onto the paper. But poor Simon, he gets investigative, and he gets a little too close to Moretti, who unfortunately does him in. So.
I have thoughts on sequels and the endings of this, so we'll save. We'll wait until we get there. Yeah,
for the very last part. So, but yeah, I thought it was light entertainment, I would say. Like this is the kind of book that I would like if I came off like a classic or a big, deep, heavy book. This would be something I would want to read, or like as you said, Terry Pratchett. That's another one. So.
What was the name of the Nicky Blue book that Nate sent me. I'll have to look it up. And Tom would like them. I'll send them his way.
Okay.
There's another author. Actually, I really should talk about his books, like on a video.
I like how Banecroft's like exterior is like just rough and clumsy and kind of slightly barbaric, I feel like, but it was nice to see that he had a lot more going on the inside.
Yes.
Than he like lets on, I guess. People just see him in a certain way because he's just like he's very rough around the edges and the outside.
And as info dumpy as the chapter was with him as Harnforth, I thought that was a really good chapter because she's the only one who really actually knows his story, and he can be himself, like truly himself around her. So again, another world which we don't see, but is there, And the reason why he is the way he is because he lost his wife.
Did they? I don't know if I missed it because I went back and forth from listening sometimes and then reading sometimes.
Sure.
But did they mention what his totem was or what it looked like?
The keys. It was the keys to the church.
So okay. Because I just remember.
I think I remember someone saying something about that, but.
Yeah, and they because I remember way back in the book, we have to get you a key to get into the thing. So yeah, that's what the totems were. So.
Huh.
And another character, which I think all the characters except for maybe Grace, and Ox, maybe have like different backstories in the sense. Manny has that magical being that's attached to him, which comes out at an appropriate point in the story. We have Stella, who
it's her thing.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever her thing
is the wee folk, is one of the wee folk.
Mm-hmm.
So, so all of them, like I said, unless they're going to do that in subsequent volumes, like, oh, here's Grace's backstory, which I would really like to know. And also Ox's, I really like to know. So the characters are rich enough that, I think they could do a subplot in a subsequent book involving just a character. You see that in long running, like The Simpsons, for example, where every so often, like one of the minor characters will get like a show or a subplot on one of the episodes to themselves. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's what makes a richer universe. So.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to hear more about Grace. I like the way she was kind of holding things together and keeping Banecroft in line, and just she made things run, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And she really was the office manager, as distinct from the assistant editor, which is what Hannah was. So, but together, her and Grace are the ones that are the controls on Banecroft.
Banecroft, right.
So the new Tina, if you will.
Was it the name of the last one? Or is the like three back?
Yeah, the new Tina.
Oh man, her name's not Tina.
Yeah,
it's Hannah.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That's why I love the voices in this, because like you can immediately, it's so like you said, I could easily see this being made into a film because there's so
yeah. And such. Get those Shaun of the Dead guys on it, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When I first
Nick Frost and
holy crap, this reminds me of Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah,
which is also a good movie in its own way. But it's like, yeah. So, and again, like Shaun of the Dead, it has a lot of humor, but there are certain very touching, very poignant moments that you don't expect. It's like, here it is, and
yeah,
it's gone.
So, that's something that Queeve, I think, added a good mix of in there. Yeah. So I agree.
It's like, oh, let's go to the pub. And it's like, oh no.
The pub is the place. The place to hang out and place to be.
Head to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for things to blow over. And...
yeah, exactly. That's it. When they went into the pub, the first thing, oh no. So going back to the epilogue, how about that?
That's why I'm thinking that there's going to be definitely a lot more, and Mr. Wannabe is going to play a big role in it, because who doesn't want a journalist that can go through walls?
Yes, Simon comes back as a ghost, for those who are wondering what we're talking about. Yes.
I didn't want to just throw it out there. I mean, okay.
Yeah, well, we are spoiling it.
Yeah, we're in spoiler territory, but I wasn't going to go to... All right.
But now, like, why can Banecroft see him? Is that like a question to be answered?
Why can't he not see him when there's werewolves?
Yeah, but that's different.
Oh, because are you sure it's different because it went from supernatural to paranormal?
No.
Because now it's super normal?
No. No, and it's not.
Super?
No, they're just like, I feel like, well, first of all, it's aware, but like...
It's aware.
It's aware, yeah.
The where is like a physical thing.
Where? I'm sorry.
In the story.
Okay.
Whereas a ghost is not.
But at some point, somebody broke down the things that existed in their world, and ghost was mentioned, and I do believe that Banecroft has some sort of problem with ghosts. I could have I could be a little bit in there that might have been a little off, but I think that there's something about that irks him, like he doesn't like them. So
because he has to deal with them.
I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess that's going to be.
But I'm saying
for a later book.
That's something I missed before, but I really think that there was a reason why an apparition was what he actually seen at the end.
Yeah, I don't think and again, that's for a later book, that the world building doesn't tell us that we just have to, okay, well, apparently this is a thing in this world. We have to read the next book to find out why and how and that sort of thing.
I can see that, but I do believe someone broke down, like whenever they were trying to explain to Hannah what they do. Like I think that someone actually mentioned right down the list, werewolves go. If anybody's seen a ghost, we go talk to them, stuff like that. So, and I knew who it was before.
Who wouldn't? I mean, like, it's the only person it could have been.
I mean, if they wanted to throw another twist at you, it could have been Long John, but who knows?
Yeah, but Long John
a wife
appear in the novel as a character other than as a body, essentially.
Right.
So.
But it was cute how happy Simon was.
Yes.
Again, all of this can be done really well with like TV acting, and I think it was written that way.
Yeah. And like I said, that's how we know that Moretti's not somebody to be trifled with, because oh no, he's killed Simon. No, no, we're so sad. That sort of thing. There's consequences, in other words. So
I want to clarify for myself what actually happened at the end. So Moretti was turning somebody else into a wolf at the beginning, right?
Yes, he failed.
And then he turned himself into one?
No, he turned the medic, I believe. Can't remember what his name is offhand. He tried the first time, and that guy went splat off the building. And then the second time he tried.
About the wheelchair kid.
No. To create the wear, the first time, because remember he says like it has to be exactly right to the person's metabolism and such. He has to get an adrenaline rush. The first guy went splat, and that was the first suicide from the building. And the second time he found that paramedic or whatever who wanted to save his daughter who was cancer. Kathy, I think her name was.
Right.
His name. So, but he actually succeeded with him.
So how did he end up decapitated at the end?
That was one of his captives, the one who was the woman.
Oh, she shifted, took his head off, and then they shot her. Right?
They shot who?
All the armed men with guns riddled some beast with bullets.
Oh, that was the wearer. They killed the
Yeah,
wearer.
right.
With bullets. But then I guess.
But before that happened, the wearer took his head. Is that what had happened?
Okay, yeah, then that.
Because I was like, what just happened here? Did he just?
Oh, that's what it
werewolf?
was. She freed the wearer. I think that's what happened. Because remember the
two that were hung up.
Steel, yeah.
Yeah.
And then she freed him from that, and then he went berserk and went to attack Moretti because.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
that's what I was just trying to figure out because I was like, how did Moretti's head hit the ground in front of them?
Yeah.
And I thought that was what they just shot up.
Yeah, no, they didn't kill the wearer before he got to Moretti. I guess is the way to put it.
Right.
So, which is a satisfying ending.
Right, because everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna get away with it," and no, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay, good.
Now, is there another definition and meaning for stormtroopers?
Oh my god, I was upset that he used that word so many times.
Well, it's what? As a Disney lawyer sort of upset? Or...
No, no, it's just every time he said stormtrooper, I was like, this isn't Star Wars. They're not stormtroopers. Why? I mean,
but is that a military term? Is that like,
it is. There is
okay.
a specific like a shock trooper, a stormtrooper. They've existed
because
as different
teams. They like storm in.
Correct.
Okay.
The term predates Star Wars. Though.
Okay, that's what
Star Wars has basically made it their Kleenex.
Yes.
Or Google.
I get it.
So I'm just saying, like, it's just I unless this is an attempt to have them not coin that term anymore. I agree. I like it. Let's just keep using it. Let's use it everywhere.
Yeah.
But I can't not think of a white.
I know that's what I kept picturing. I was like, this is weird. But yeah. Did you have a favorite character?
Banecroft.
Why?
Just because I think that would be me later on in life.
Oh no.
Wrong answer.
After you're gone, remember? I'm not grumpy. I'm grumpy and old and.
No, it's all the farting. That's
what?
I said all the farting.
No, that's not what I liked about her. I don't.
That's what I didn't like about her.
She had a really hard time with that one scene.
Which scene?
It was like
he was sleeping in the back of the car while they were talking or something, and the tension got a little high, and he just went, to ease it, and
yeah,
that's
not funny.
Right? Exactly.
See, I didn't say that.
No, she didn't say that.
No,
Look at her face.
I was just like, what? Like, are we serious? Like,
yes, 100% serious, and that's the problem, right?
And John thought it was hilarious.
I still do. Apparently.
I was like, I could just see people reading the book. It's like, well, that's not funny. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, coming from a place with a bunch of comedians, it's really hard to not because there's always one. There's always one that will do that every time that something's going on. He's
okay, so we had toilet humor. Okay,
yeah,
the one time in the book, so he's allowed.
I liked him because he was straightforward and blunt about everything. Now it's if I read it again, I might find another character that I like more. But right now, Banecroft kind of is the character of the book at the moment for me.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of color in them.
But they were presented to everybody so strongly in the opening chapter. Because Reggie's on the roof of the thing, and
I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. I swear. It's like, what day is it?
Oh, it's Monday.
Oh, he's always up there. So yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to pick a main character, like a character who I, more than anybody else.
Right. They're all very colorful.
I was glad, like I said, that he didn't recreate essentially Buddy McGarry in this novel. You know,
I can see a little bit of him.
bit, but
yeah,
not
just a
big.
little. Just
Yeah. Not the
enough
same.
for me to be like, wait, is this the same character?
Yeah.
Like, just ask the question. But
Yeah. So, say, well,
I even just like, wait, how did I know that character name he just said?
Mhm.
But I read the name.
Well, if you read with Man with One of Those Faces, it's clear that Buddy McGarry is like the character in the book, to the point where he also has McGarry stateside, which extends his, you know, he has 2 books devoted as him as the main character. So you can tell that. That's not the case here. Though, as Banecroft is part of the ensemble. He's not like, oh, we're going to make 2 books about Banecroft, that sort of a thing.
Right. I don't know. I even every time I see any of these types of the old, 60, 70-year-old old detective type, I was thinking like even like more like Detective Shu. Is that his from the Earth Mirrors of Earth Past series? That detective. It was almost the same way, just not as colorful.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd like that kind of character a lot. Hey, I've seen some things,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, both of them have, like McGarry and Banecroft.
Right.
They,
being a detective, that's
Yeah.
how that happens.
Yep. So,
like,
well, Desiree, what about you? What's your favorite character?
I don't know. Maybe Grace. I think Grace had more personality than Hannah did. More personality into this. But I think I feel like you see so much more of Banecroft.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool character, but
I think you're absolutely correct with the fact that Hannah was there as a focal point to see everybody else.
As a foil to everybody else. Yeah. Well, it's also cool to see the difference in Stella's character after everything had gone down, because, she just said, she's used to being hunted and such, so now she doesn't have to be as afraid anymore. And a difference in accent and everything else. So I was like, oh, that was well done. So, one other thing, since this is unique to this book, what about the stories in between the chapters?
Every time she looked at me afterwards and was like, really?
That's not funny.
No, she I don't know. Did you laugh at this book at all?
What? Yes, I did.
Internally?
Just
on the inside, yeah.
Just because I didn't laugh at all the same parts you did.
Oh, no, I know that's not going to happen.
No, but I did.
If you ever watch Robot Chicken, which I know is wildly politically inappropriate.
I love Robot Chicken.
The one, okay, then you might appreciate this, John. Desiree, close your ears.
Uh-oh.
No, do you remember the one newspaper article where he talked about it was the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Volkswagen Bug?
Yeah.
He was going at it. It reminds me of that robot that they
and the washing machine?
Yeah. I said, for some reason, I found that inordinately hilarious. And it's like, you could just, you'll see that playing out here in the novel. So,
oh man, if they were to do like an animated version of this somehow, like a Wallace and Gromit version,
yeah,
they could totally have a lot of fun with that. A stop motion version of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I think it would be more like Archer. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. Like, I mean, that's a lot like, I mean, between Archer and Family Guy, a lot of their storytelling has the same kind of like, or we'll compare it to this thing, and then a clip to it, and something happening, and then going right back to the story.
Family Guy does that way too often in my opinion.
Agreed.
That's the story. So,
I mean, I don't know. I know, like, I laughed at least one of the stories in between, but I'm not sure I even remember the specifics of the stories in between at this point.
Oh yeah, they in one ear out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
well, the one was I remember about the psychics convention that was canceled.
Because of expected circumstances.
It's canceled due to foreseen circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh god.
That might have been the one I left out.
But yeah, like I said, I just found it an amusing, entertaining read. So, which
I liked it.
that's what's the time. Yeah. So I guess the question is, would you continue on with the series
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I might have to be like,
in a mood for it? Let's say.
probably what will happen is John will be like, "Oh, the next book is out. Can you download it for me?" And I'll be like, "Okay, I'll put it on Audible." And then
I'll listen to it and then
yeah, and then he'll be like, "You have to read it," and then I'll read it.
That's right. Okay. Still not funny.
I've been telling her this about multiple books that I've read at this point. She's got her own list and agenda. So
Well, good for
It's
you.
hard. It's hard.
I'm reading all of her books like that she got a long time ago and she still hasn't read.
Oh, so somebody will say, "Oh, they're red." You know, somebody left my print on. It wasn't me, but that's okay. I can still get more.
Oh boy. Don't say these things.
Yeah, don't say anything.
So yeah, if you like that sort of writing, though, like I said, the Dublin Trilogy and the McGarry Stateside are roughly similar. So, but without the magical elements in them.
I think we'll have a penchant to collect everything eventually, so I'll get to it maybe.
Oh, I pick them up as soon as they come out because
Okay.
like I really enjoy the writing and such. And like I said, he fits that light entertainment. I just finished I finished, not that it's heavy, but it's a long book. Cibola Byrne, the fourth book in the Expanse series. And it's like, okay, I want something short. I want something entertaining.
Yeah, that doesn't require too much brain power. It's just,
Exactly.
You could just enjoy. Yeah.
Am I gonna have to get into the Expanse
That's what
series?
rom-coms are for me.
It's really good.
So translated, yes.
Yes.
Either the TV series or the books, they are recognizably similar, but
Okay.
like the TV, and for obvious reasons, the TV series, wherever they can put drama in, they're going to put drama in. So, but it's still recognizably the same, but very, very good. If you have Amazon Prime, yeah, check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to recommend, if you like, okay, we'll do that afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, carry on then.
I would say, what? You go first. You go first.
I'm going to say 4 stars.
Okay.
It might have deserved a 5 from me, but I didn't pay enough attention, I guess, at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was in and out because of it seemed a little slow to me to begin with, but that's understandable with the kind of book it was. And there are things that like I said, I missed something with the transition from them saving the people and Moretti's head landing in front of them. So I was like, what just happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So with that, I mean, I could have, there's probably might be something, if I read through it again, I might up it a little bit.
I think I have a little bit of trouble with the writing because of the random elements that are thrown in for like humor purposes. Like it kind of throws me off where things like that happen, where I feel like some certain things are disjointed because I can't connect how one thing relates to the other.
Or you're like, did I just hear him say something stupid? And then the next part was something serious while you're asking me that question. So,
so I kind of have a little bit of trouble with the stories, but I think like I would give it a 4 too, and I would definitely read the others in the series, and I think I'd be more inclined to read this specific series over the other books he may have written. Because I like the supernatural element of it. Like, I find that intriguing, and the paper itself is kind of funny.
Right.
So 4 stars for me.
Well, I think I would have. This book is my jam. This is the stuff I would like to read as a rule, and I would say 4, 4.5. But the narrator really puts that over into a 5 category because he was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Okay, if I was rating the narrator, that's 6 stars.
Well, that's part of the for me.
Yeah,
it was absolutely.
Yeah. So and Goodreads is about how you like the book. It's like I found it hugely entertaining. So yes, and that was due to the writing, yes, but also the narrator really brought out the characters, and that was brilliant. So
I wonder if he'll use the same narrator throughout the series.
I sincerely hope so. And I don't know if it's the same character between that and his other series, but I would have to look. So
I don't know.
Any other thoughts?
No.
good stuff. Queve McDonnell, good stuff. Check him out. C.K. McDonnell also in this series.
I saw that he also mentioned, I guess, if you go to the website and sign up for the newsletter, that you'll get like the short stories.
Yeah, free stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of
Did
which
you do
may
that?
be set in
I did not do that
maybe
yet.
set in the universe. So
I was going to do it.
oh,
Let's see.
some housekeeping. What are we reading next?
So next month for
I hope it's a giraffe book. Is it the giraffe book?
It as far as I remember,
I'll be
it's a
sorely
giraffe
disappointed if it's not the giraffe.
book.
By Giraffe? Is that what it's called?
Hold on, no, it's
West.
West with giraffes.
West with?
Yeah.
Okay.
West,
Okay,
like you're
good.
going west
Yeah,
with
yeah.
giraffes.
Good.
Hold
'Cause
on,
that's
I'm
something
just,
a good book.
I'm
It's something very
double-checking.
different from what we've read.
yeah. I have a coworker that just read it and she gave it 5 stars.
What were the other options? Oh, never mind.
Wait, you picked them, didn't you?
I picked them.
Oh, Desirai. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay, I thought it was your closet.
But yes, it's West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge.
So, can I still? This would be. I think this would be the first time this would happen. But can I take one of those and put it back in the rotation on mine?
I mean, you can, yeah. I don't have any problems with going back into the
Like
nomination.
being renominated? Because I don't think we've done that yet. This entire time, I don't think we've done that yet.
I think you can do what you
I've
want.
definitely like renominated things
Have we?
that I have like put in.
Oh,
Like I think I put one of Neil Shusterman's book in there multiple times before it got picked.
okay. I was wrong.
But-
All right.
Oh, that reminds me. When are we ever gonna do we? We never finished the last book in the side trilogy, did we?
Mm-mm.
I don't
Wait.
think you read the second one.
Did I?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's probably
Scythe.
true, but I don't remember.
It's Scythe, Thunderhead, and the Toll.
No,
Okay.
we read the Thunderhead. And this is we could do this offline, but yeah. I could swear we did the second book.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, then we should do the last one because I haven't read the last one.
But when,
Anyway.
if we're doing all new books this year?
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, that's right. Curses. Foiled by our own
Foiled.
friends.
Oh, God.
See, if you want to be part of this discussion, sign up for the Patreon.
Yes, join us.
But West with Giraffes.
West with Giraffes.
Yes, it's based on a true story.
Good.
So should be interesting.
Mhm.
It was like one of Amazon's first reads things.
Good.
So all right. Well, that's kind of a wrap on that. So I hope if you're watching that you will join us next month when we read West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge. Thanks for sticking with us and listening to our discussion. And again, for additional details on how to become a book club VIP member, you can check that out at patreon.com/Libri. So, all right. Thank you both for being here and reading with me. See you next month.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.